Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. Well, the first few days of the open enrollment have gone well for you. My name's Jim with the INSXCloud. What we're going through today is the platform that we've partnered up with May Insurance to offer to May Insurance brokers this open enrollment season. And we'll go through our broker platform, some of the different things that you can do, and you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions. If you do have any questions, just send me a message and we can address those on the fly. But to begin with, the first time that you log in to the INSXCloud, you're going to be doing so on a May Insurance branded website. So what you'll see won't be the INSXCloud logo, but the May Insurance logo. And there'll be a central website that all of you have your own user account for. And when you log in, this is the first thing that you see. It's the ability to start a renewal, the ability to head out to the marketplace for a life change and/or document upload, and the ability to run a front-end quote. And that's where we'll begin, is with that front-end quote. This allows you to collect some really basic information on the customer, the zip code and county, date of birth, tobacco status, and dependent information. You have the ability to choose multiple lines of coverage. From one application, you can submit more than one line of coverage. And the subsidy calculator is a part of the quote, so you're just entering the income, and then we'll tell you where they fall on that FPL scale, as well as display that estimated subsidy amount. And when we're viewing the medical quote, that subsidy amount will have carried forward. So you're viewing premium minus subsidy, and what you're seeing is the member's net responsibility. If they qualify for a cost share reduction plan, one of those CSRs, whatever level of CSR they qualify for, the system will automatically calculate that. So when you're viewing those silver CSR plans, it will show the unique benefit that customer will receive. And if you have a need for it, that compare plans button there will allow you to create a PDF document, something that would limit what's being displayed to the customer to only those plans that you're choosing to put on the PDF. And then there's a recommend plans, which allows you to highlight in the electronic quote on your website here. You're highlighting suggested plans and moving them to the top. And I'll show you at the end, kind of make mental note here that we'll circle back to the recommendations and show you how to email them to the customer. But once we pick a plan here, this isn't the final plan election. We're essentially making note of what you think is best for the customer or what they're interested in on the front end. And if we chose to quote multiple plan elections, each line will show you the plan selection in succession here. So we pick the medical plan, and now we're picking this supplemental gap plan, and after that we'll pick the next plan, and what you'll have at the end is a tally. You chose a medical plan, a metal gap plan, and a dental plan. You could conceivably submit every line of coverage that we offer all on one application. And the piece that I asked you to make note of on the plan recommendations and how to email them to the customer, at the bottom of the page here, there's an invite applicant button. And what this will do is allow you to send an email to your customer directly from your system. The email is going to look like it came from you. They're going to have a unique link in there. And that link, when the customer clicks it, is going to bring them to that quote on your website. And what they'll see first are the plans that you recommended. And then if they keep scrolling, they'll ultimately see every available plan in their county. Now, if the customer is ready to enroll, of course you don't have to generate that PDF quote. You do not have to email them that electronic quote. You can just begin the application. And the green Start App button at the bottom is what takes you to the broker side of healthcare.gov. And this is the heartbeat of the system. This is your broker connectivity to the marketplace, which means you have a master login on every application that you complete. When you pass through to the broker side, you're going to see your CMS username will be pre-populated, and then what you'll be doing on the screen is keying in your password, and you'll be verifying that you're not a robot. There'll be an image. It'll say something like, which of these is a farmhouse, and you'll click the image that shows a barn in a field or whatever it may be. But there's a validation here, and the reason that we can't just pass that password through automatically is because they want to verify that this is actually a broker using the system. So with your master login, again, on every application, you use that same master login, the CMS account. And healthcare.gov this year will prompt you to look up the applicant, and this is going to occur whether you know that they're new to the marketplace or if you know that this is a renewal. On each customer, you're going to put the first name, the last name, and the date of birth. Those are your 3 required search fields, and you always want to just start with those. And then, of course, if that doesn't yield an application, you can use the app ID if you have it, or the social security number. But if they're new to the marketplace, of course, it's going to say no apps found, and it'll give you the option to start a new one. In this case, this test individual we have out here, there's 30 matches. Hopefully your customer doesn't have 30 applications out there, but if they do, the one at the top will be the most recent and the one you want to use. And this year, you'll actually, and I didn't mention this, when you search by name and date of birth, if you look back at the top there, you can select a coverage year. Now, at first, and this is something that we learned this week, CMS recommended that we search for a 2017 app, and then you'll be viewing the automatically created form. And what we found is that flow doesn't seem to be working. What is working is to choose coverage year 2016 when you're searching. And then when it finds that current eligibility app, you'll see at the bottom there's a button for Create 2017 form. And that is going to be your renewal flow. 16 lookup, then we'll click the Create 2017 button. And what that'll do is pre-fill the new eligibility form with all of last year's information. And you'll have an opportunity to click through if anything needs to be updated or changed. You'll have the ability to edit those fields. But if nothing has changed, it's fantastic. You just click Save and Continue through the application until you reach the end where those eligibility results are. You view the PDF just like normal, and then you click Return to Enrollment website. So at this point, you're done on the healthcare.gov side. You're returning to your broker platform, and at this point, we're viewing the official subsidy. So the marketplace sent us a huge data file. Part of that information is that this subsidy is officially determined to be $139. And what we'll do here is click the green button to continue the select plans and submit. We'll confirm the tobacco status and the checkbox there, agree to the taxpayer attestation. And what you'll see at the very end here, now the eligibility is already determined. All the dirty work's done. You're just confirming the final plan election, and you do have the ability to add or remove lines of coverage here. So if on the front end quote they said, yeah, I'm interested in that dental plan, but I don't need vision. Then you get done with the eligibility app and you're about to submit, and they go, you know what, I thought we should get that vision plan. You can go ahead and check the box here and make a vision plan election. Because again, everything we did on the front end was just preliminary. And what we're doing here is making the final plan elections. So when you're viewing the medical plans for the final plan election, we'll show you what you picked on the front end. It will be highlighted so you don't have to look for it. But they can choose any plan they would like at this point. And this will be the final plan election. So we give you an opportunity to confirm the plan elections on those other lines of coverage as well. We show you the summary screen, and you're signing and submitting on behalf of the customer. And if you chose to submit one of those ancillaries, they are off exchange products. The ancillaries are off exchange. And with those off exchange ancillaries, we're collecting the payment immediately. Whether it be credit card or bank account, the customer can choose to make an annual payment or a monthly payment. But that payment for the off exchange ancillary will be captured immediately. And then you have a completed application. You've done everything that's required of you at this point. The medical has been submitted and the ancillary has been submitted with payment. Now, if you want to assist your customer in making that binder payment for the on-exchange medical, you do have the ability, and this green pay button is going to take you to your broker login screen on healthcare.gov, and you'll search by name and date of birth, this time for a 2017 application. And as soon as you get back into that customer's app, and this is a process that'll take you about 30 seconds to get in, there's a payment button inside that customer portal on the marketplace. And if you ever have troubles with this, you do have something that's not showing on this screen here. In the left menu, you're going to have technical support. And if you run into any issues, even something as simple as making payment here, you can click on tech support and give us a call. We've got a team here 12 hours a day during the open enrollment from 8 to 8 Eastern. Now, when you do submit, we'll track that enrollment for you automatically. So with each submission, there's some information that's going to be saved on your customer. You have under your enrollments, there'll be a list of all of your enrollments. And when you click on a particular enrollment, this is the profile that you'll see. We saved some of that information that came back from the marketplace, like that app ID that they assign, premium, subsidy, carrier plan, the writing agent, and then you've got the contact information for your customer too. At this point, the enrollment is complete. You can rest assured when you're seeing it in your enrollments that you've done everything that you need to do. And if you have a situation where the customer is not interested in the ancillary during their open enrollment election, and they come back a couple days later or even a week or two later and say, I really should have picked up that dental plan, can you give me a hint? You'd go back into enrollments, click on their profile, and from their enrollment profile, there's an add a line of coverage button. And the cool thing about this is we already have all their data. And if we're running an off-exchange standalone quote, that means after you pick the plan, when you're viewing that summary screen, where before, when we had a medical plan election there, an on-exchange medical, start application would take us to the broker side of healthcare.gov. But since the on-exchange is out because we already did it, again, we're looping back on a customer that decided after the fact that they want an ancillary. When we're writing these standalone off-exchange ancillaries and you click Start Application, it keeps you on your website. There's no need to go to healthcare.gov. We're going to show you a quote on the front end that's pre-filled, and the application will take place entirely on your broker platform. And the same deal, you'll sign and submit on behalf of the customer. The payment will be captured. And now that medical enrollment that you did last week, you've also submitted an off-exchange ancillary with that one. So if they don't elect an off-exchange ancillary while you're doing the on-exchange medical enrollment, the opportunity is not lost. You do have the ability to circle back and write that ancillary on that customer at a later date. All right, we're just breezing along here. No questions so far. I'll show a couple of calculators, and then there's really just a few more things to go through, so I'll take a moment to say again, if anyone has any questions, just send me a message and we'll address those as we're going. Some of the calculators that are available, if you don't have time to run a quote, but the customer wants a subsidy estimation, that is a standalone tool. Same deal, we'll show you where they fall on the FPL scale and the dollar amount of the estimated subsidy. Something I didn't mention earlier, if you have, especially like a family of 5, it gets really tough to determine where those thresholds are for the income. And something that you might use this standalone subsidy calculator for is to determine that threshold without running a quote. Somebody gives you an income, you see it's a family of 5, you can come back in here and re-enter that income as many times as you need and recalculate as many times as you need to determine where that tipping point is. And this is really helpful, especially for that family of 5 or larger, that you could find out that based on this income, one or more of the dependents may be eligible for Medicaid or CHIP. And so you come back in and you put another $1,000 on the income, no change, you put another couple $1,000s on the income, and suddenly you find that that dependent is no longer showing CHIP eligible, but it's saying they might be eligible for the on-exchange plan. And you can report back to that family, hey, I know we're not certain what your income is going to be next year, but just so you know, here's the tipping point. We could be Medicaid eligible here, and you may be Marketplace eligible here. So that is a useful tool. And if you have a family considering going without insurance, even based upon how they file their taxes, we can project what it is that they can expect as far as the tax penalty goes if they choose not to purchase a non-exchange plan. And then the affordability calculator is geared towards the individual who might currently be on a group plan. This is also helpful if you work with any small groups considering, or really any groups, considering changing the employee contribution. This affordability calculator relates specifically to the cost of a group plan for an individual. And what the calculator is doing is taking the household income and comparing it to the annual cost of that group health plan. And when you do, if that amount exceeds, and this for this year, the number is like 9.7 something percent of the household income, then that coverage is deemed unaffordable. If it's within the threshold, then it'll say that based on the information provided, this group coverage is affordable, and this person is not likely to be eligible to purchase on exchange. So for someone who's dealing with an unbelievable premium through an employer, it is possible that they may be eligible to purchase on exchange despite having employer coverage available. And with that, I'm going to take you guys over to a test site and run through just a couple of scenarios. One that may be helpful to you is if you're on healthcare.gov and partway through the application your internet connection drops, healthcare.gov starts having issues, or your customer doesn't have everything you need to complete the enrollment, you do have the ability to jump back in and then pick up where you left off. Give me just a second to get into this demo site here. So under your applications, you have quotes, applications, and enrollments. And applications is going to keep a status. So if you've only run the quote, you can come back in under your saved quotes. If you've taken that quote to healthcare.gov and you began the eligibility application, but you did not bring it back to your enrollment website, that application is just going to show as started. And what that means is you have a partially completed eligibility app on the marketplace, and you can click continue, jump back out to the broker side, look them up, and pick up where you left off. Submitted is another status. I'll come back to that in a second. One that you'll grow fond of is this eligibility received. What that means is that you've gone through the eligibility application, you returned to your broker platform, but you've not made the final plan election. So eligibility received means that all the dirty work's done and you just need to attach a plan election. And again, clicking continue will allow you to pick up where you left off. So eligibility received, we click continue. This is the screen that during the enrollment we would have seen when we returned from healthcare.gov. So at this point, the plan election is all that's required. There's about 30 seconds left in this application. So whether it's an incomplete eligibility app or eligibility is complete but the plan election's not in, wherever the application gets left, you can pick it back up from applications and continue from wherever you left off. Submitted, I mentioned, we track submitted enrollments under applications and under enrollments. So the two different functions there, enrollments are going to display all of your completed, and this is where that customer profile exists. This is where you can add another line of coverage. The purpose of tracking a submitted application in enrollments as well as applications is under applications. This is the scenario that maybe your customer was really torn between two plans, and after you make the plan election, they could call you back that day or any time before the election period cutoff, and they could say, hey, I really should have gone with that other plan. Can you help? And you can. And you can do it without having to fill out a new eligibility application. You can click into your applications here, find that customer's name. You'll see the submitted status. And when you click edit, it's going to give you the opportunity to go through the final plan election again. So without touching healthcare.gov, all we're doing is attaching a new plan election and submitting it with the same eligibility application. And what you'll see under your enrollments is that the new application will show as submitted, and the old application, the one that you're overriding, would show as canceled. So there's a lot of control that the broker has, a lot of capability. I'll pause here for a moment. Again, we haven't received any questions. If you do have any questions, just send me a message and we will get those answered. I'll take a moment here to show you guys. The website that you'll be operating from is mayinsurance.insxcloud.com. And this is where each of you would have your own login to access your own customers and renewals. And I see some familiar names here. Some of you are already set up. Some of you are brand new. If you don't have an account under the May Insurance INSXCloud site, just contact May Insurance and they can get you set up. It does not cost anything. May Insurance is providing this platform to their brokers. I'll take a moment here to show you guys the customer service portal. If you have an issue, the customer is sitting in front of you and healthcare.gov is giving you trouble, you're not sure about an eligibility question, anything of the sort, you do have phone support and email support 12 hours a day, 8 to 8 during the open enrollment. This phone number goes to our broker support team in our office here in Akron, Ohio. When you sign up, May Insurance is going to make you very aware of the types of issues that you need to contact them for. And for anything else, you can use our phone support, our broker team. There's 6 individuals at any given time of the day ready to assist you with whatever it is that you may need. All right, at a little under a half hour, we've made it through your broker functionality on the cloud here. And one piece that I'll mention before we go, these are the specific carriers that are available with the off-exchange ancillaries that I mentioned. All of the medical on exchange can be written standalone. You're not required to write these ancillary policies, but they're available to add to the application with just a click. There's no second app, no second website. It's a truly integrated solution so that you can ask the customer if there's an interest in this additional line. If there's not, you move along. There was no time wasted. If there is, it just means checking a box to add this additional line. And you all will see these ancillaries available along with the on-exchange medical quoting. So with that, it doesn't look like we have any questions left. Again, to create your account, please contact May Insurance. They will get you set up with an account that they're going to be paying for. So no cost to you, whether you're just doing the medical or you want to do the ancillaries as well. It's all part of the package. Same with the support. Everything that we reviewed today is going to be a part of your account when you create that with May Insurance. So again, thank you all for being here today. And please do contact May Insurance if you'd like to create your account. And if I don't have the opportunity to talk to each of you, good luck this open enrollment. And have a nice weekend. Thank you.